Hello and welcome back to the podcast. I'm Joe.
I'm Park.
And as usual, it's just a little weather update. It is May 9th right now. It's Sunday, May 9th, and it is cold. It is 41 degrees.
Chilly.
It was 39 when I woke up. I don't know what the problem is. Apparently the jet stream is doing some dips, and that this cold stream will be felt as south as some places like Atlanta. But still, man, I'm not vibing with it. All right, we gotta just the weather. This is what I'm saying. It's not just empty gripes. Okay, this is redonkulous, man.
This is documented proof that the weather here is ass. I guess we could also go to weather records, but this is like firsthand experience.
Other than that, we've been laid up. It was warm all week, but it didn't matter because Parker and I had our set of problems. Last Saturday night, but it was so late that it might have been like 1 a.m. So
like Sunday morning.
Yeah, very early Sunday morning,
also
one
like
week
week
ago.
Yeah.
After driving around for like an hour and a half trying to find skate spots because the skate parks here, like I said, either somebody pulls up for a drug deal and then they just stare at you while they eat their McDonald's and wait for their weed or whatever, or there's 670,000 people there at any given moment, even like 3 seconds before the lights go off. And when the lights go off, you can't really see anything because there's no park next to it. So it's not like there's park lights or anything.
So like most of the times those like the basketball courts or like the tennis courts, they have the light switch to turn the lights back on. And I know that the skate park doesn't have one, the one that's close to us. But do you think that tennis courts have one? Because if the tennis courts had one, maybe that'd be enough light to...
Maybe, but at that point, it's like I get why they don't want it because it is in a residential area. So
yeah, that's true.
Like it's like, you know, where houses are all around. It's like a town square kind of where like there's houses all around.
It's like where the park district will meet. It's like where Little League practices.
So you want to turn all these lights on at 1 a.m., you know, and the popping of the boards. It's kind of annoying for people trying to go to work. So I get it, but we were trying to find a skate spot unimpeded by other human beings. We went by a Gold's Gym, which had a pretty good, there's a loading ramp. So it was nice.
It was a nice little incline, which is fun to go over, but it still wasn't like steep. It wasn't a ramp.
And then the Shea videos from like 6 months ago came back to bind. Yeah. We saw some train tracks and we had a joint. So one thing led to another. Walked down some train tracks, jumped over some barriers, and then we came back and we found a spot closer. And once again, Parker's like, I looked like you did it. I don't know if I did it, but I was trying to jump over this stick with a skateboard. Or no, it was a long straw.
It was one of those caution poles, like the little flag pole type things that they stick in the ground when there's like construction around. It was like the construction orange like hazard thing or whatever. They put it on the corners for like cars or whatever. I don't know.
Well, small. I know. I think you talk about the flags because those flags are like wires. No. Oh, I know. You're right. Yeah, the big red. Yeah. Yep. So.
Okay. Yeah.
There was one of those, but then it was like really late, and he wanted to keep going, and I should have just sat in the trunk or started taking videos of him to see what he was doing. And I started doing it more, and then the board slid out from under me, and I did what you're not supposed to do. Instead of rolling, I posted and like jammed my entire arm, or I sprained it somehow.
So, would you, not comparable pain, but kind of like the same sort of injury when you get the basketball thrown to you and your finger gets jammed on the front of it?
Yeah, I think that would be the same, but I don't know what the difference between a jam and a sprain, but it's like when you sprain your ankle and you just cannot walk on it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. It's a sprain.
What's been your worst injury?
Literally nothing. I've been pretty, other than, I don't count like lacerations. I've had some deep cuts and stuff, but
I don't really remember like any.
Yeah, they get sewn up or you know, patched up and you're fine. I haven't had any serious things, thank God. I haven't had any bone breaks. I haven't had any like organ problems. I don't know why I just went for the kidneys.
Well, yeah. I think my worst injury, I've broken my thumb before. I've broken like all my toes except for like the big toe. I've sliced my head open, but that's like a laceration. I don't think I cracked any bones or anything. But so yeah, I think probably just my fucked up organs.
The mullet, I mean, what else? It's been a rough ride for Parker medically, but I think he's finally pulling through.
Hey, now I'm hitting the bong so I can't defend myself.
That's okay.
My mullet is not a medical problem.
All right.
Fuck you. I mean, I enjoy my mullet. People enjoy my mullet. I don't know what the problem is. I think you're just a hater.
Yeah, no, it's great. I love the Joe Dirt vibe. I told you, but go real or go home, and you're not. It's not a real mullet, man. I mean, I'm calling it that. That's my niceness that I'm extending to you. Now it does. We got haircuts, and now it is actually looking like a decent like Patrick Kane playoff mullet.
Yeah.
Without the 3 lines, but before it was just.
Should I do the 3 lines?
Nah, dude, you got to do something like your own. Like do like.
Lightning bolts, Charlie Brown.
Nah, what'd you say? You said you're fire. No, I'm totally water, dude. Out of the elements, I'm water.
I mean, I think I would be earth.
Nah, you strike me as air.
Air? Okay, dope. I'd be air.
I don't know. I was just thinking you should get like the air plumes. Like, you know that what's that one show where it was dude, Shaolin Showdown. You remember that show?
Shaolin
Bro, you
Showdown.
remember that little baby, but he wasn't a baby. He was like he was
us.
air, right?
I think so, yeah.
But I was just thinking their little like their symbols. I barely. It's like some kind of lucid dream that I was like, I barely remember that. And the dude, you remember one the Jake the Dragon or what? No way. Where he had like the green hair and he was about to turn into a dragon, dude. I was like, did his uncle or some shit or his like or his master or whatever turned into a black dragon, and he looked the coolest because he had like this red trim. He looked like a Dodge Challenger. You know, it's nice.
Yeah. Damn, that was what other shows are on at that time?
I don't know. That one had like that magic fortune cookie. Remember that day, dude? Speaking of which, we went to what was it?
Express.
We went to Panda Express and we got these fortune cookies the other night. And well, it wasn't the other night. We got these fortune cookies like the night or 2 nights before that my arm thing happened. And Parker's got his, and it said like you help people or some boring like something like you're a helper. So I was like, I remember answering when he read it. I was like, yeah, give me my fortune cookie. So then he hands me the one I get, and I open it. And it says you're in for a thrilling time. So I was like, And then guess what? The next day or the next day after the next day, possibly, I don't remember. It was 2 days or 1 day. I jammed my arm. What does that mean? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
I know that's the most vague fortune cookie fortune in the world, but I'll just say, you believe in omens, dude?
Omens?
You hear a crow and stuff, and you're like, oh man, that's a crow.
I think there are some bad omens that exist, but I think it's all more mentality. Oh my, why can't I say that word right now? It's like with manifestation, you think that you wanna get something, you're gonna be thinking about it more, and then you're going to what am I thinking of?
Manifest it.
Well, not manifest it. You're gonna put more effort into working towards it, you know? So it's just gonna happen easier or sooner than it would naturally.
Do you believe in like curses and any of that? You know, like King Tut's curse, which was not actually
Kinda. It's like I think it's just bad juju, not necessarily a curse, just some bad energy that you get from it.
You know what's interesting? Actually, interesting enough, Casimir, like the 5th or 6th, he was in, I think it was Krakow, like under the Wawel Castle, the Wawel Castle or whatever you call it. Wow. He was buried there, and I saw this in a YouTube video. I guess what the archaeologists or tomb raiders, whatever they are, they go and they found his casket, and they were given permission to check out his remains and everything. And 4 out of the I forget what it was, like 12 people that went in there were dead within the week, and then like 8 more of them died right away. But it turned out to be that this guy's tomb, he died in 1492. Same year Chris K was whipping on the ocean. K. Yeah, Chris C. Anyway, go low, hey, look at my boat. So he died that year, and I guess it was like 500 years his tomb had gone undisturbed. And so this one mold spore was growing on the wood of his coffin. And when these guys went in there and screwed with it, they opened the door and they released all these spores in the air around him, and it killed them. So solves the mystery. Well, that's
what I was asking about with ghosts, you know? Like, is there, so let's say like a cemetery or something. Is there just like gases being released that kind of fuck with the air or some shit? Or
there was that one thing. Remember this lady's, I think I mentioned this on a podcast. The ladies' cabinets kept opening and closing and something like that. And there was a gas swell underneath her house that was like moving. It was literally like the breathing earth. You've seen that where the whatever that is, the same thing with the gases, so it makes it move. But then again, you see like this poltergeist footage. I've talked about how that in one of the first podcasts where we just get drunk and scream at the microphones. I was talking about how like a poltergeist is like the biggest asshole ghost, because it just throws a temper tantrum and wrecks your fine china, you know?
Yeah.
But I can't explain a plate flying across the room or hovering. I've never seen it in person, and all the camera stuff could be fake. So it's like, I feel like at this point in time, it's kind of like a Bigfoot thing. We would have caught it because we could pretty much see almost everything, unless it's some kind of underground shit. I don't know. But the ocean is, like I said, the ocean's the mystery because we can't really see down in there with like a satellite or anything.
Do you think, so you know how like they say, oh, all the big ass sharks and whatever big sea animals live down deep in the ocean where we haven't explored yet? Do you think that's the truth, or do you think they wouldn't be able to survive down there because of the water pressure?
I think we've talked about this. Is the reverse. I think that some of that stuff is true because they can't come up.
They can't come up
because they would like like that flatten out fish you were talking about.
The angler fish.
Yeah, so
with the light in front of it.
But if it's in a forest or if it's kind of unhindered, I don't understand how it could be on land. That's why the land things I think we might have found, unless there's some kind of microscopic or some kind of insects we haven't found yet. Well, but then again, I'm not a scientist.
We're finding new insects every fucking year. I think, you know, like that spider that they were just talking about, that there's the silk hinge spider. They just found that spider, and it's a brand new spider. So we're finding insects every time. But back in like the
how do you think that works, by the way? Not to cut you off, but the silk hinge spider, you want to explain it? It's like, so explain what the web looks like.
They say it looked like Stonehenge. I would have gone with a UFC ring.
An octagon?
Yeah, an octagon. Well, it wasn't necessarily an octagon. It had a lot more sides than an octagon, but it looked like basically just a bunch of chicken wire.
It's like a ring around it, and in the center there's a post.
It's a beacon.
Yeah.
It's like a beacon which had spiders in it. Which
I guess is because the spiders could just walk around because the leaf on the bottom that it's built on isn't covered. So the spiders could just walk around while if stuff tries to get into it, it gets stuck in the web.
That was one of the theories. It was saying that does the mother do that for catching prey for when the spiders hatch? Easy ass prey, right? Or is it a lure? Does it use it as a lure for the mom to just prey on whatever it catches, like the ring it catches? But I don't know. That's kind of crazy. But I think with the land animals thing, we would have found most of the ginormous land animals. You know, what was that other the Atlanta Loch Ness monster?
That gives you a kind of a ancestral path insight too, because it was in Georgia where they were talking about like where the first Scottish or Highlanders or whatever immigrants came and settled there. So it's like, well, they're going to obviously carry their traditions and their folklore and everything there. And it could be some kind of shark or like like it said, I know the video we were talking about, they were saying that the local fishermen say they swear it's not real. They were saying it's like,
well, it's definitely one of those, the alligator gar. It looked exactly like one of those, just with a fucking ballooned head. It's dead too. And so I think it was definitely just an alligator gar. But I think because like back in like the dinosaur periods, weren't there like dragonflies as like big as us?
I have no idea.
Well, way back when a lot more trees and oxygen was better, I like seeing the differences and the similarities between species, like comparing, not necessarily comparing, but putting humans up against something else and realizing that we're not that separated, like we are still animals. And it's kind of cool to see. I don't know, I liked all that when I was little. I liked all the dinosaur books, all the National Geographic books. Like my dad had a whole bookshelf full of like almost all of the National Geographic covers. So it was kind of,
we have like a similar thing in terms of outdoor interests. Like, for example, fishing, one of them. I know fishing's common, but I don't know why. I remember being little and fishing. Not that I'm better than anybody or anything like that, but people would get, like, kids my age, I'd be with them, or my like friends I had, they'd get bored and they'd be like, whatever. For some reason, it was the only thing that I would not get really bored at. Like my dad, I remember, tried to teach me to play tennis. He tried to teach me to do all this stuff, and I just get bored. And it's like, I don't want to. Other than that main sports, because all your friends are playing them, so you just kind of like football, basketball, baseball, everybody's doing it around you. But stuff like
dragged into it, but
you just inadvertently learn how to do it. Which I remember throwing the football with my dad and him teaching me that and how to ride a bike and everything. But for some reason, fishing I don't know if it's the hunt or the fun of it when you finally get it, but fishing is so much fun. I want to go deep sea fishing just because I kind of want to wrestle a tuna for like half an
That's
hour.
what I
You
was
know what
about
I
to
mean?
say, bro. I wonder if I would be able to do it. If I would,
I'd probably have to switch off with somebody the first time
think you
because
and I'd
I'd
be able
get
to do it.
tired.
I mean,
I wonder how long it would take. Depends on how big it was, but you can mess with that thing for like an hour maybe. Trying to
Really
tire it out to
fun,
reel it
yeah.
in with a fat ass pole like
You ever-
Quint and Jaws, you know?
you ever heard of herping?
Herping? No.
It's from Wikipedia. Herping is the act of searching for amphibians or reptiles. I think, you know, like going to that one lake and stuff. We could go fishing there, but I think I'd also want to try herping. I've been watching some videos on Instagram of people.
What is
herping.
it? Fishing for reptiles?
Yeah,
Dude, you ever have a turtle bite onto your lure? You gotta cut that shit loose because they just won't open their mouth.
Yeah, I've never had it bite onto my lure.
You lose the hook, you lose everything because they're mean fellows. Turtles.
Yeah, they're angry. They're angry little fucks. But we have I don't know if you know him, but I have a friend, Tom and I have a friend that he always posts on his story of him, videos of him herping. He always catches snakes and like geckos and not geckos, but salamanders and shit. And it's kind of sick.
What does gigging a frog mean?
Gigging? I don't know. I've never heard that before actually. Gigging? Oh, it's the practice of hunting fish or small game with a gig.
What is that, like a spear?
Yeah, it's one of the. Let's see.
You trying to go spear fishing,
Oh,
dude?
it's like a pitchfork. It has 5. What are they called?
I don't know. A gig?
Twines.
Dude, we should go spear fishing. We probably won't catch anything the
I'm
first
sorry.
like 19 times, but then maybe
Fishing?
spear fishing.
Oh,
You know how hard that would be?
would you want to do the crossbow fishing, where you reel it back in and then reload it? And
Not really. I'd rather just go fishing.
yeah, I think you could get pretty good at it because like I can get close enough to like minnows and stuff to actually catch them. And so if could get close enough, obviously like in the little creeks that we go to, there's going to be no fish right where we like stand near. But I think on like a deserted island, there'd be some tropical fishies. But
Well, if you could find some string or something, or like a plant that you could string, and
Then
then just a
just
stick and
tie it
and
up.
make a hook out of a like some kind of tab or something, you could fly fish. You can make it if you're on an island.
yeah, you ever seen the you can make like a hook out of the can tabs?
Yeah, if you could find a can tab.
Yeah.
That's the easiest though. I mean,
Well, I wonder, do you think there is a legitimately untouched island out there? And I'm not saying animals.
doubt it.
But like there's a
Trash, doubt it.
Yeah.
You could definitely find something.
Yeah, probably, bro. I wonder how old it would be. Cause that shit. I mean, how long does it take for plastic to degrade? Is it like 136 years or something? I don't know. I think I just pulled that out of my ass. Let's be honest. Cause I wonder when was the first plastic, like mass production plastic thing made? Like one use, like the water bottles. Cause that's probably what's gonna mostly be out there, not like
Hey, I'm gonna sell water.
how long does plastic take? 20 to 500 years. God damn. So, have you seen that meme? The feed the eels, throw your car batteries into the ocean.
I'm not, but that shit's.
Charge them up, bro. I bet you, because you know how, like, bro, we've talked about 4chan before and stuff, and it's like, it's hilarious half the shit they do.
Yeah,
but
4chan will get millions of people to throw their car batteries into an ocean.
I wonder how many people actually threw car batteries in. That dude, I wonder if like 4chaners or because I think Quentin Tarantino, if he was like a teenager now, he'd definitely be like a 4chaner. Just like his personality.
Why?
I just feel like his
How do you know his personality?
From
What
just
you-
interviews that I've watched.
How many interviews you watched?
2.
Okay.
And just the movies that he fucking
Nah.
makes, bro.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess.
It's just-
Let's try and call him. I'm sure there's like some kind of contact information.
I can
Let's
ask- I can
hit
ask
up
my
his
mom.
IMDb.
Yeah.
All right. Peace.
Deuces.